And let's go ahead and break down this card. As I mentioned, if you're just popping on right now, where's Jacob? Where's Jacob? Where's Jacob? Jakey Boy sent me a message about an hour and a half before the show saying, hey, I don't think I'm going to make it. So he said, you know what? It's already scheduled. It's on the board. Let's go ahead and do this with the community. I see you in the queue. Aiden, turn your camera on if you want to help me break down this Hamdy versus Jamal fight. Anybody else, if you want to hop on here and break down these fights with me, call into the show. If you're a premium member, there's a link on your account page or in the Discord. Aiden, how are you? Where are you calling from?
What's going on, Angelo? My name's Aiden. I'm from Canada, actually closer to the falls, if you know where that's at.
No. Oh, like Niagara Falls.
So like the Buffalo side, I think, is the Horseshoe Falls, but like I think we got the bigger side, yeah.
Gotcha. Well, welcome. We're going to run this show like I run it with Jacob. I'm going to do my half. I'll hand it to you. You do your half. Are you good to go?
I think so, yeah. These two guys should.
Well, you better start doing your research because I'm about to hit my flow.
To be honest, brother, I really thought this was just like, give your
regular call-in show,
like, question, whatever you got, but I do apologize, brother. I didn't read too great.
No, you're good. And you're going to help me break down this fight. Opening up the UFC Saudi Arabia fight card, we do have Hamdy Abdelwahab taking on Jamal Pogues. Hamdy Abdelwahab is quite the guy. He is 3-0 in his MMA career, but that's because he has moved over from other sports. He was a high-level wrestler, an Olympian, to be more specific. He moved into MMA a little while ago. He is 3-0-1 in his last 5. He's taking on Jamal Pogues. Jamal Pogues, 11-4 in his career, 4-1 in his last 5. He's coming off that bounce-back win over Thomas Peterson. I mentioned Hamdy. He was a high-level wrestler. He competed in the Junior Olympics. He competed in the Real Olympics. He also hasn't competed in 2 full years because he got popped by USADA for a couple of banned substances. They kicked him out. He served his sentence. He is now back. The question is, anytime you get somebody with that long of a layoff, you just don't know what to expect. Is he going to come back, lessons learned, in great shape, ready to go? Or is he sloppy? He hasn't done anything in 2 full years. But if we just assume he is who he is, he's a high-level wrestler that will bomb away. He's not afraid to get into a fist fight. He'll use just sloppy overhands to set up those takedowns. We saw him in his UFC debut where he was sloppy, but he did ultimately win that fight with a couple of takedowns, taking on Jamal Pogues. Jamal Pogues is a busy heavyweight. He doesn't have that giant heavyweight power, but what he does have is volume and forward pressure. He's always throwing something. He's got a decent pace. He doesn't, as I mentioned, have that big one-punch knockout power, but he makes up for it with just constant forward motion and things constantly flying at you. On the regional scene, he has had quite a few takedowns. He also had 7 takedowns on his first Contender Series fight. He's not a dangerous heavyweight, but he is there. He will move. He is coming off that win over Thomas Peterson where the cardio actually looked horrible. And when he was taken down, he didn't have much to offer. And because of that, I was surprised to see that at one point in time, Jamal Pogues was a good-sized favorite here. About -120, -130 favorite, and Hamdy was the underdog. Olympic wrestler is an underdog against the guy who has nothing to offer when he is taken down. Hamdy is going to be my pick literally for that reason. He's not a guy I can fully trust. I know Bet Sam trusts him a little more than I do, and he'll be on the show in a little bit. Do you have opinions on this fight? I'm picking Hamdy. Do you think the wrestling's going to matter here?
Well, as you were saying, if you were saying they were both going to go for a wrestling style kind of game, honestly, I'm going to go with Hamdy here personally, but I heard you were mentioning that Jamal had not as great of a gas tank as his opponent, right? So if it goes to a grapple matchup style, I think come the 2nd, 3rd round, maybe Jamal might gas out a bit. So I'm going to have to agree with you on that pick.
I also imagine Jamal's going to struggle a little bit. I think if I'm Jamal, the only real game plan I can have here is let me throw as many strikes as possible. Let me stay in Hamdy's face, back him up, get him confused, and maybe win that fight. Because if he's going to be initiating takedowns, I don't think he's taking down an Olympian.
Yeah, fair enough. No, I absolutely agree with you there. No.
All right,
grappling
so we've got
great.
Yeah, and the stats are always interesting because you're going to see 0% takedown defense for Hamdy. That's not because he can't defend a takedown. That's because nobody has shot a takedown. So it hasn't been tested yet. And I imagine it's not going to be tested in this fight. Hamdy's the pick. Right now, the odds are dead even. They opened dead even. They are dead even right now, but there was movement in between. We didn't go from even to even forever. People took a stance and they went to the Jamal side, and the line took off a little bit. And I think what ended up happening is people saw that and like, this is crazy. This guy's an Olympian. And then the odds came back down, and these might constantly yo-yo back and forth because I think people are just going to pick whatever side they want to be on. Either a guy that's been out for 2 years or a guy that can't really do much if he's taken down.
Yeah. Personally, Hamdy's the pick, but I'm going to have to stay off of this one, brother. It's a pick 'em.
I think I'm with you. If Hamdy goes back to plus money, I might pull the trigger. We lost a couple of fights on this card, so kind of find some value here, but it is what it is. You have any last words for me? You said you thought this was a call-in show. Did you have a question for me before we move on to the next fight?
Well, I was actually going to ask you a question about the MVP Shara Bullet fight. If you don't mind, if I can come back later, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I'll find you in the queue. I appreciate you calling in.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Angelo. I appreciate it.
No
Love
problem.
the stuff you do. Have a good night, brother.
You too. Appreciate it. Before we move on to the next fight, I see you in there, Crayons. Become a premium member. Go to WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member. It's freaking $10 every pick, bet, tool, every single freaking thing that we offer is available to you instantly across the board. No tiers, no $10 add-ons. It's $10 total for everything. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top.